All right. Good morning. Good evening. Good night. Buenos dias. What's going on, everybody? Regional time of day to everyone. It's another episode of Layer1Live. Looks like we got everybody in the house. I want to give a quick shout out to Bruno, who's staying up late for us today. Guys, if you are in the chat now, please let us know. Make sure our audio is correct. I know we've been running into some issues with the audio, but without further ado, my man Dimitri, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man, not much. It looks like the chat is rolling. It's lit. We obviously got exciting news today in the market, even though, compared to the previous weeks that we've had in terms of news, we definitely kind of slowed down a little bit, which is not bad. But one thing that didn't slow down is Bitcoin. That's for sure. That thing continues to go higher. But yeah, man, I had a pretty good weekend. Relaxed a little bit. I shot some guns.
Shot some guns.
Yeah, I did some American stuff. Went to a shooting range, shot some guns. It was fun. It was good times.
Pretty nice. You were playing real life COD there.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, I want to touch on some comments here. We've got Easy in the house. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let me make sure. Again, Bruno, thanks for staying up late for us. I know a lot of people have different schedules than what we're on, but we appreciate you today. We've got Loadmaster in the house, bringing his army with him. Kieran, we're gonna touch on some stuff Kieran talked about in the Discord this week. Asmodi, Bullseye's in the house. Paul Young's in the house. Crypto Brandon, our community manager's in the house. Who else? We got Scott. We got Ken Bozak. We got Bozak in the house again. And a bunch of the rest of you guys. Let's see. There's a ton of you guys. So keep talking throughout the episode, and I'll make sure to get to everyone. The last thing before I toss it over to Dima one more time, the all-time high for this week is going to be 59. So we have to hit 60 if we want to get the double rewards. We'll touch on the reward system here in a second. I know Dimitri was not happy with me the other day. But it's good to see everybody in the house. We hope you have a good week and are having one so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to have Ken Bozak on. It's actually, I don't know if he remembers me. I met him back in the day during the ICO alert days when we were in the conferences. And we did an interview with him. I think it was like a very short piece back in the day. So that was fun. Glad to have him on board here, watching us. But yeah, man. So there was some, stuff with the rewards on the desk. It looks like, my viewers didn't get the link. So I got, some DMs and so on. But don't worry, guys. You will be getting those rewards. We'll be doing the double rewards on the next stream, which is going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure, you are in there, and then we'll double the rewards to compensate for the last time that we missed. So
yeah, guys, we're working on automating that process. We talked with the Roll guys today. We'll touch on that in a second. Roll obviously is providing the infrastructure for the social token lads and a lot of the other social tokens that you guys know about. We touched on them, or we talked with them today. We touched on a bunch of things. We'll get it to you here like within the next 5 minutes. But for those of you that are maybe new here, this is Layer1Live. It is one of the many pieces of episodes or series within the Layer 1 content network. We're talking all things crypto on Layer1Live. So broad, it's not any specific sector. Obviously, if there's news that week, we're gonna dive down that rabbit hole. But we are what are you laughing?
No, I'm just laughing at chat. The NFT army is trolling me again. They trolled me on the last stream on the desk. They were talking about my beard. No, I did not trim my beard. So I'll trim it for the desk tomorrow for sure.
Awesome. Dimitri's got the hair gel rolling, or maybe lack of hair gel today. But yeah, it looks like everyone is fascinated with whatever Dimitri is doing with his hair, whether that be facial or on the top. All right. Anyways, let me get to some of these things. Again, if it's your first time here, covering a broad crypto news piece here, we have, I believe. Let me just get to the schedule real quick. But if it's your first time, subscribe to the channel. We have a bunch of different topics, right, that we cover each week. We touch on NFTs on NFT Live. Dimitri hits the TA on Dimitri's desk. We have Layer 1 podcast that comes out every Wednesday. So we're doing a ton of different things here on the channel. So we appreciate you guys coming in. Obviously, if you guys are in the lads community, you're earning lads for being here today. I will drop that link probably somewhere around the middle of the episode. If we hit all-time highs, you know what it is already. All right, so let me get to some of the stats from the past week real quick. I had it pulled up, and then I completely lost it. So let me make sure that I have the stats. Okay, I've got US, UK, Australia, Canada, and Germany from the top 5 countries as far as listens this past week. Top 3 episodes. That Axie Infinity episode is absolutely killing it right now. We also have that episode with Andrew Steinwald, number 2, and then Cooper Turley, number 3. So that's a good roster of guys there in the crypto industry, and you guys should check those episodes out. This week, we have a special event this week, but I'll go down. So Mondays, we're giving you Layer1Live, clearly. Tuesday, we are doing Dimitri's Desk, but we're also doing a Blankos special event launch with the NFT fam, or NFT Live fam, and the lads, of course. We had that cool event that we did with the Sandbox last week after NFT Live. If you guys weren't there, we kind of got into the Sandbox, and we're doing Lads Radio in there. So we're doing Blankos launch tomorrow. That we don't have a time even from the team, but keep obviously following our Discord and all that stuff so that you can be in the know on when that Blankos event will go live. We're going to go live and stream the whole thing, do it all up. Wednesday, we have the interview with Bad Crypto Podcast.
Ooh, that one was a trip, man. It was a good interview. You know, it was definitely a different kind of style, but it was fun. You know, it was a lot of fun. We talked a lot about different things and their backgrounds and their kind of, kind of their view on the market right now. So, we got silly a little bit, which is fun, so I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. I definitely did.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of cool things with their NFT Nifty box as well as Blockchain Heroes. So that was really cool. We have Thursday, NFT Live and Lads Radio. And if you guys don't know and you guys haven't been to Lads Radio, you need to. It's probably one of the coolest pieces of content that comes out of Layer 1, and that's saying something based on all the stuff that we're doing. But Lads Radio happens usually after NFT Live, but Buff runs that sometimes just randomly. He does a pop-up Lads Radio where you hop in there, you listen to his nice DJ voice, and you have a good time listening to tunes, man. That was awesome. I want to give a shout-out to Easy for coming in there the other night and kind of, conversating with the rest of the lads. That was really cool. And then Friday, of course, we have Dimitri's Desk to wrap up the week. We were talking about doing a Layer1Live, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that sounds like a packed schedule. And, it's cool with the radio that Buff does. Sometimes, members hop in and talk about like their stories, things that are going on. So it's a good way to kind of, get the community going and for us to really kind of know each other and know our stories and share them and so on. So it's not just music. It's also, having the guests as well that makes it a lot of fun. So I'm super excited.
Awesome, man. All right, we're about to get to some of the news here in the majority part of our episode. They're still talking about you, Dima. He said that those earphones really make your eyes pop. I agree. I agree.
Oh man, I'm just getting blasted here in chat. It's some talk about Chuck Norris and how my beard is way better and. Oh my God, it's fantastic. I love it.
It is fantastic. You guys are coming through really hard in the comments. Keep it up, guys. That we want to see that comment section light up, which it already is. Thank you so much. Let us also know if Dimitri's volume is a little bit low. We've been dealing with that. So if it's too low, let me know now so we can fix it for the people listening on audio tomorrow. So Lad of the week. We got Paul Young Jr. We've got Easy in Crypto. Both of those guys, this comes directly from Brandon here, and you guys have been killing it. So Paul Young and Easy, you guys reached out. I think we had one-on-ones with both of them to talk about how they could contribute to Lad. So I want to give a shout out quickly to those two. And then Alpha of the week is going to be Kieran.
Of course,
had to be
Sir.
Kieran. Sir, please. We'll get to the reason why he is Alpha of the Week in one of our stories, but that's pretty much it for the Lad of the Week and Alpha of the Week. I have to get to sending these lads out because you do get extra lads for being both of those. I will make sure to get those out to you guys. And then that's pretty much it, guys. All-time high is 59. We got to hit 60, and then let's talk about some liquidity mining and then get to the rest of the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had, a few guys kind of reach out to me and just wondering what is the status. We obviously have the liquidity mining campaign that we're coming up on, and we have gathered information from all the participants that want to, essentially take part in this. And we have that sheet and we have the channel on Discord. So just to kind of give you guys an update really quick, the reason why I haven't reached out to you directly just yet is because we were actually had certain critical questions that needed to be answered to, before we can move forward. And I didn't want to kind of reach out before I have that information that I can, kind of clearly outline how this process is going to go. Looks like, based on our call that we had rolled today and discussed the different kind of strategies there, we've come up with a pretty good solution, and looks like we're going to be moving forward. So therefore, I will be reaching out to you guys individually today for those that submitted this, in our sheet to be a liquidity provider for lads. So I'll be reaching out to you today. Keep an eye on you on your DMs, and for those guys that do want to participate that might not necessarily submitted that form, let us know, because if you are interested, we want to make sure that this process is easy and efficient, and I want to make sure that we can answer any questions that you guys have. So super transparent.
Yeah, I can go ahead and drop the liquidity mining campaign in the chat here for those people that are interested. Guys, this has been a long time coming, right? We've been a social token. We're going to get into social tokens, as you can see on the ticker right over there. But we've had this social token for about almost 3 months now. And we've seen other social tokens launch in that time, and we're excited to see that industry grow as a whole. But as far as from a personal bias standpoint, we think what we're doing here is awesome, and we can't wait to have this. Are we announcing a date, or we continuously?
We will announce. Yeah, we will announce the date here soon, because I'll say it's coming up quick. So it's going to be very soon. I know we've been working on this for some time, and we had some dates in mind, but I want to make sure this thing rolls out in the best way, because the last thing we want to do is kind of roll it out and it's kind of half done, and then we have issues and so on. So we've been taking time to research, do modeling, and all this stuff that we'll post in the mining section of the Discord, as well as the details of the breakdown of the liquidity mining and the rewards, very detailed month-by-month basis, and so on, so you guys can see how we hit those targets, how we fit into the budgeting, and so on. So that's that's going to be dropped there, and we're aggressively moving to make sure we hit that target to launch this thing before the end of the year.
Awesome. All right. Well, I dropped that in the link. I dropped that link in the chat for you guys. You guys can check it out if you haven't already. There is a link to the actual application. You fill it out. It's not obviously locking you into anything. It's basically like getting probably just an inquiry. So we're not going to come busting down your door if you fill out the application. So without further ado, that is the lads news from this past week. We appreciate all the lads in the chat. It looks like Brandon's in the chat. Brandon, if you can, I'm going to if you could log into Layer 1. I don't think I got a tweet out about today's episode. So let's get that tweet out if possible, and then I'll be able to share that, and me and Dimitri can share that via or all of you can share it on social media, because we want to get the word out. We want to get to 60. So we are good to go with the breaking news, guys. So this is it. We made it to the news portion. Let's get it after it.
Yeah, absolutely. This actually took less time than anticipated. We're getting better and better at these, right? Looks like just really quick at the comments, Easy Crypto saying, I like that you guys are taking your time to drop it. So appreciate that. We have kind of the same idea there. So long distance high five to you, sir. All right, let's hop into it. So first, we got the breaking news. And it's actually only one piece of news that we have under breaking today. It's mainly related to basically the SEC, right? So we have the SEC chairman that's going to be stepping down, Clayton. It's just actually stepping down a little bit earlier than initially anticipated, stepping down the end of 2020 this year. And, we can kind of talk about in terms of when he was the chairman, what kind of things have been done in relation to the cryptocurrency markets and so on. And there's kind of mixed opinions there, because first we had the, kind of the SEC and the chairman talk about, hey, listen, all of these things are securities and they're going to be going after them. Then we saw a batch of lawsuits that come through, and some of them have settled those lawsuits. Some of them maybe not, but there was a huge blast, right? We saw a wave of SEC just kind of going after these tokens that per what they say is violated the Securities and Exchange Act and so on. And then we started getting some good stuff from the chairman in regards to like Bitcoin and Ethereum. He's saying, hey, listen, I don't think Bitcoin or Ethereum is a security, and actually we saw some good comments in terms of innovation that's coming from the DeFi sector and how they're excited about it, and how the chairman said, hey, I can see maybe like the stocks, securities being tokenized as well in the future. That would be a pretty, good feature there. And then bam, he's leaving. It's like, what? It's like, wait a minute, so the tough part now is that since we're starting to get some good stuff from the chairman, and he was starting to kind of believe in this market and seeing the things that it can provide in terms of features and efficiency and all these good things that we always talk about. But now that he's leaving, it'll be up to the person who's going to take office next to really kind of dictate the roadmap for how they will see the growing sector that we cover, all the time, the cryptocurrencies. What is going to be their stance on it, right? So I think right now that's not the uncertainty that I'd like to see. Obviously, ideal scenario, we'll get somebody who's more crypto friendly, then boom, that would be a great win. But if we get somebody who's very strict and very against that, then that is going to push another wave of basically SEC going after some of the players, and that's really something that we don't want to see at all, especially like seeing how quickly we're growing, how we're progressing, and so on. So it's going to be a little bit of a period of uncertainty with that new person.
Yeah, I remember Bitcoin ETFs and crypto ETFs were like huge on the kind of minds of the cryptocurrency industry. It was before this like institutional money started to flow in, where different firms are buying hundreds, $200 million. It was always, when is the Bitcoin ETF? When is ETF?
Mm-hmm.
And it never got approved. It always got kicked down the line. So it will be interesting to see next chairman. Next SEC chairman, are we going to get a Bitcoin ETF from that chairman? So yeah, definitely.
That's going to be the first question. When ETF? Who's in charge and when ETF?
Awesome. All right, so I want to give a shout out quickly to Jonathan De Winar. Busy sharing. You guys are excellent. We appreciate you guys sharing this episode wherever you can. I'm sure we'll get the tweet out here shortly, and you guys can go to our at Layer1Crypto. That is going to be where you can share that tweet. So we appreciate all of you in the chat. We're going to move over to quick news really quick. We're going to touch on Alpha of the Week now. So Kieran, if you guys don't know, obviously there's tokenized access to our Lad City there, our Discord community. And obviously within, Crypto Mike just dropped $5. So boom, do a little dance, Dima.
Well, why are you putting me on the spot, man? I gotta get these dances like down or something.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick dab for Crypto Mike donating $5. We appreciate it, Crypto Mike. You coming through as always. Thank you so much. We appreciate the donation there. So we are moving into the next piece of news. Kieran was the Alpha of the Week. He shared this in our Discord community. So once you get 1,000 lads, you can become a recruit. You basically rank up via the bots we have in our system, and you get access to all of the channels. And in, I believe it was Fundamentals, Kieran actually dropped this Bitcoin Cash hard fork. So I actually have to be on my game here when I explain this a little bit, but it looks like this past week, Bitcoin Cash went through a planned hard fork. So basically you had Bitcoin Cash Node and Bitcoin Cash ABC. Bitcoin Cash ABC was actually the non-popular choice here. The division actually happened because those who were backing a fork or a minor tax, I guess the debate became, hey, the community does not actually want this minor tax to go into any sort of implementation. Therefore, the network that had the minor tax actually became Bitcoin Cash, ABC, and the one that did not, that became the popular node that had, or the popular network that had more hash rate at the end of this fork was Bitcoin Cash Node. So that's kind of the situation here. It was a really cool opportunity to see governance in practice in these different communities. I know that's kind of complex, as we always talk about, but it looks like most of the network actually took on Bitcoin Cash Node. So that's BCHN. A lot of these different exchanges, there was some talk on how they would I guess, which fork that they would support. There was a lot of talk on how this would look to someone who's not obviously privy on this information. Would it still be BCH? Would it be BCHN? So there's a ton of different information on here, but mostly what you need to know is that BCHN became essentially what will now be known across most networks as BCH. It's in Bitcoin Cash ABC will kind of be this other chain that's obviously closely related to Bitcoin Cash, but now BCHN will be the majority fork. I'll see if I can get to the comments from one of the exchanges. Don't mind me. Let's see. This is something from Trezor. Following the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, the overwhelming majority of nodes have shown support for Bitcoin Cash node over Bitcoin Cash ABC. Satoshi Labs will support this decision as replace the Bitcoin Cash ABC software running on its servers with Bitcoin Cash node software. The last one I'll get to is from Kraken, I believe. Oh, okay, it looks like you can see this from Huobi. Since there are still many uncertainties in the current fork, if one or two parties decides to abandon the fork, Huobi Global will respect the opinions of the community and name the final winner BCH. It looks like Kraken was doing the same thing. A couple other exchanges said that they were just going to call Bitcoin Cash node BCH to avoid from any confusion. So interesting stuff. I think the last thing I'll say about this is Roger Ver was on the side of BCHN, and it looks like he claimed that this was just a free airdrop, essentially, because it was so overwhelming in support of BCHN that it was just a free airdrop for ABC.
Yeah, it was that was super interesting to actually find out like how the exchanges will deal with it, and it's interesting to see different responses. So it's like, well, some exchanges are like, well, we're just gonna go who has the most hash rate, right? It's like that's it, like the network speaks for itself. And then if let's say the Bitcoin Cash ABC is gonna get more hash rate down the road, then maybe it'll be introduced on exchanges as well. But it seems like it was kind of a done deal. It was as a failed attempt to kind of fork BCH, where we basically have a clear winner. So out of that whole debacle there, how many times are we gonna fork Bitcoin? Can somebody tell me, please, sir?
Seems like a little cash grab from the guys who are in the Bitcoin Cash community. I don't know. I'm not in there, but it seems like just based on it was such a small minority of people that wanted this change that it just seems like a nice windfall for those who are holding BCH.
Yeah, absolutely. And miners are not gonna vote for that miner tax. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. So that went into the vote, or the proposal essentially was like 6 months ago. I feel like it may be a little bit longer. It's hard to keep track in crypto, but I know the initial proposal we were talking about on Layer1Live, and from the beginning it was like for the most part completely hated by the community. So it's not. It's not
a shocker.
Not a shocker to see this go through. Okay, I've got the other piece of quick news because that was a little bit longer for our man Kieran there. Kieran, if you do have any comments, okay, so he's got some comments coming through. 9,000. ABC tried cash grab. I don't know what that means. What's going on?
I don't know, but BCH, as far as the price goes, hasn't really reacted that much.
Yeah, I can bring that up here. Kieran, if you got any more before we move on, feel free to drop it in the chat because you obviously. We have to touch on the fact that he, I think, was the first one. I don't know which token, but he was the first one to get his either BCHN or Bitcoin ABC or Bitcoin Cash ABC. He was literally the first one to get his tokens. So
of course he is. Of course he was the first one. But yeah, he dropped that in Discord, a very detailed kind of process and story behind to keep all the lads up to date. So that's why guys, hop into Discord. Get involved. If you guys want to be, catching this information as it comes through, on daily basis, like I drop a lot of fundamental charts and so on there, so you guys can see that in real time rather than kind of wait for us to talk about it or, mention it on our live streams.
Jippo says fork in hell. Nice pun there. Nice pun. Orlando's in the house. Aloha to our Hawaiian friend Orlando. Aloha, lads. Great day, everyone. It looks like, as Modi's saying, the pair Bitcoin, I believe it's probably Bitcoin Cash ABC is down 30%. Okay, I got the next piece of news here. It looks like Zapper. I'm not a personal user of Zapper, but I know that they're a good dashboard, a good DeFi dashboard that's kind of come into account here. They initially ran a funding round that was led by Framework Ventures, but it looks like they're getting a new funding round, I believe of 1.5 mil from both Delphi Digital and Coinbase Ventures. If you guys aren't familiar with Zapper, you can see right here. Obviously, the summary says runs an asset management portal for decentralized finance on Ethereum. Users can log in with their wallets and see all their assets in one place. So Zapper's definitely a big mover in the space. I believe it's Zapper.fi if you want to go and log in there, but it's good to see them getting a little bit of funding from some big players in the space.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, always interesting to see more capital being deployed into these sectors, for sure. So we did have a little bit of an issue on Ethereum, guys.
Sir.
Yes, sir. You know, in a time when you see some exchanges like OKX, you know, disabling withdrawals, and everybody's like, oh no. And then the time comes when a lot more exchanges disable withdrawals, and that's because of an issue that occurred on the Ethereum network. So the whole story revolves around Infura. Infura is basically a platform that's backed by consensus, and it's basically a very big piece in terms of the Ethereum operational like platform in general. So they've noticed an issue where basically a consensus bug affecting the version of Geth, what they call, I guess it's deployed update, used for some internal systems caused block syncing to stall across several of those subsystems. So it's quite technical in terms of what the issue was, but in terms of what it caused, the issue overall stalled basically and prompt the exchanges to stop withdrawals for the moment being until the issue is resolved, as this backbone platform is struggling to fix the bug. And it's interesting to see, I did drop a link there in dashboard that goes over the timetable of them resolving it. And if you take a look from the time when they recognized the issue and the time when essentially was resolved, it was about, I guess less than 6 hours in terms of the whole issue kind of, getting fixed, which was pretty cool to see, how quickly they can gather the troops and engineers to fix this. And make sure that there's no problems there and people don't have to experience the issues with withdrawals and so on, and overall issues with the ETH network. It's crazy, to see something like this as we're like gearing up for the ETH 2.0, right? And it's like, well, it's like if the existing system had like this upgrade issue, then it's like, well, if we're going to start moving to ETH 2.0, then it's like maybe there's some issues that will come up as well, which can cause uncertainty.
Yeah, we're kind of nudging up here next to 60. We're at 58, 59 right now. So basically what happened with this Infura is that they made an unannounced upgrade to the protocol, and then some I guess nodes did not upgrade the software. It was some type of situation where some subset of nodes either just hadn't been updated or needed to and just didn't do it, and therefore Infura went down. Or I guess the nodes went down. MetaMask was having issues.
Yep.
And it brings up like the elephant in the room of decentralization, right? When you have one of the largest kind of this world computer that still has a potential to go down when one specific instance happens, or through the actions of certain individuals, whether those be devs pushing updates and that not happening. It's just interesting to see from this perspective, because, and I don't want to get too complex here or too divisive, but we have seen other protocols get attacked by the Ethereum community about being too centralized, and that when it happens to Ethereum, it's a whole nother game, right? So I love Ethereum. We're super blockchain agnostic here, but you do have to acknowledge when this stuff does happen that this is because of centralization still.
Right. Yeah. I think it's hard to be like super decentralized, right? And having that set up there, and everybody wants to have a balance as well, like a hybrid. I think it slowly will continue to transition towards like a better setup. But for now, it was great to see like the quick response from the team to get this fixed for the moment being. But yeah, we'll see what the ETH 2.0 is going to bring, and that one is going to be a big one. We're going to cover a little bit more once we get into DeFi stuff in terms of those that are looking to participate and stake in ETH. There's a company a platform that's doing some interesting stuff where you be able to utilize that ETH that's staked in that Ethereum 2.0 setup. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, ETH, as always, is a really fun topic of conversation. A lot of the projects that we even talk about later in the episode are ETH related, obviously. So it'll be interesting from your perspective. A little bit of Dimitri's desk here. Bitcoin and ETH. What's the play here? Not investment advice. What are you looking at?
Yeah, it's interesting because we've seen kind of ETH lag behind BTC for some time. It's BTC is taking the stage. For now, but that's kind of a typical scenario where you see Bitcoin kind of outperform, and then you have the rest of the market like ETH follow. So I think it's gonna be great, because if you take a look at the fact that like more people are gonna start staking into that ETH staking facility that's taken out of the circulating supply, which generally should kind of push the prices higher. But we'll see, what the market is going to dictate that. Keep in mind, what we haven't actually talked about is the fact that wrapped BTC came out, and you could utilize it now and to earn interest and so on, right? That's taking that out of circulation too. Like that's helping the Bitcoin come up as well. So
don't tell Bitcoin Maxis about wrapped Bitcoin, okay? That doesn't count. That Bitcoin
that's not real Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not real. It's not real because not your keys, not your crypto, guys. Anyways, we're gonna move on to discussion here. We've got to touch on SUSHI and Uniswap. We touched on them back in DeFi summer a little bit when they were kind of like hotly contested. Uni was rolling out their token, and then SUSHI forked it, and then we had a bunch of like infighting. Since then, Uni's been a big player, but with the rewards that are kind of coming down or completely stopping, the faucet's completely going off on Uni, SUSHI decided they were going to take this time to make their play essentially, and they have, and we'll touch on that here in a second. But we're at 56. Come on now.
Some people were saying chat they did see it on the screen.
No. Don't try to fake me out here. Don't try to fake me out. All right, we touched 59, but we needed 60, guys. There was no 60. I was watching the whole time, just like you. All right. So what's up with SUSHI and Uni? We'll touch on them, and then we'll get to some of these comments as well. Did you have any before? It looks like Balas is saying, Dimitri, how about a shout out to Captain Loadmaster Rock? Do you want to give him a pat on the back there?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to him. Looks like there's some emojis with the bearded man here as well by Llama. So I'm loving it, guys. That's amazing.
Oh God, Wednesday is misspelled on the slide. I guess I didn't put Wednesday. Unfortunate. All right.
That silent D, man, always gets you.
It's so true. I love English. All right. Anyways, we're going to move it to discussion here. We're going to touch on Uni and SUSHI swap. We're going to get after it. So appreciate you guys following along. This is the discussion portion of the episode. Everything from here on out, we want to hear your guys' input on. It's better when you guys are commenting on what we've got going on. If you have a different comment about a story that we haven't touched on, drop it in the chat. We'll talk about it, man. Appreciate you guys following along.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. If we missed something or you guys seen a theme or a trend there that we haven't covered, definitely, drop that, and you can ask us a question what we think about it. We can definitely take a look at it with the rest of the community. But all right, with that being said, let's hop into the discussion with SUSHI versus Uni. And it's interesting, I've talked about it on a desk on Friday. We looked at Uni token, which actually has been coming up. Let me see where it's trading at right now. But basically, Uniswap, we all know they released that token. Everybody got that stimulus. And it was in response to kind of like the SUSHI swap coming out, right? Because SUSHI swap had a token and Uniswap didn't have a token. And eventually Uniswap was like, all right, we're going to release a token as well. And they used that token as, a tool to incentivize these liquidity providers, right? So if you provide liquidity, you get, basically the Uni token that has a value, and then you can, drop it onto the market or whatnot. We've seen token price kind of move lower, but now Uni is scheduled to actually stop rewarding LPs buy their UNI token. So that incentivization program is ending, and it's ending tomorrow. And that's might be why the response of the token has been kind of from the beginning of November to where we are today is about 100% up to the upside, because probably the selling pressure from the miners that were getting these, UNI rewards for providing liquidity, that selling pressure is probably going to, fade more now that there's no more, UNI that's going to be minted to be deployed and dumped into the market. So it's interesting. It's like an experiment they ran to see how the overall LPs will respond. And there's, somebody messaged me on Discord as well when we were talking about it in our trading channel, like, what kind of effects is it going to have on Uniswap in regards to them stopping these rewards? Will they see liquidity drop off, and will that be the end of Uni, right? Because there's no incentivization anymore, right? Well, not necessarily. I think Uni was doing very well prior to them having the token. So the LPs were definitely in there providing liquidity, and they were still earning, right? So it's not like the token was the only incentive for the LPs. The token was just kind of an extra layer of it. For LPs, they make money off the fees, right? So when you make a swap on Uniswap, right, you pay the fee to the market makers, and they make money through that way. So for them, it's fine. Most sophisticated LP providers or LPs, they actually tend to just stick to that. They just make money on the fees on trades that happen on that pair. And the more trades there are, the more fees, the more money they make, right? The extra stuff with the token that Uni has, that's just kind of like a bonus. So I think in general, it will not impact the liquidity available on Uniswap that much because these LPs that are sophisticated, they'll remain in their positions because they're, again, capturing the fees that are generated by Uniswap. Right now, we're seeing 3 billion in liquidity on there, and it has been rising. We'll see if there's going to be any drop off. I believe some people are saying there's going to be like 1 billion drop off in liquidity. I honestly think that reaction will be muted to, in regards to the rewards on Uniswap kind of stopping there. But anyway, so with that story in the background with Uniswap, right, of what's going on, we also have SushiSwap that has been kind of competing, right, the whole time. And as the rewards are ending for Uniswap, SushiSwap is taking this opportunity to, maybe bring some liquidity home, from Uniswap. And that's when they start releasing, hey, instead of stopping the rewards, we're actually going to tweak it, increase it, and, amplify it. So this way, if those LPs that rely on those rewards and want to chase those rewards, like on Uni, they can migrate to SushiSwap and collect those rewards there, which was a pretty interesting battle that we witnessed between the two, decentralized exchanges that are pretty much like replica of each other. The only difference is that one, ended up doing the token right away to do liquidity mining. Another one did it after. And we're constantly seeing that battle between the two. There's claims like, people have been trying to figure out, all right, where is the better execution? Because at the end of the day, slippage and execution is the primary thing that traders should look at when they're using a product like this. And so far, from what I've seen, Uniswap has been dominating in terms of better execution setup.
Yeah, this is an interesting conversation. I really enjoy it because of what seems to be a friendly battle between two protocols, right? Other than Hayden initially, I think was kind of upset that they rolled out the token. Maybe they front run him. Maybe it was a response. I don't know what Uniswap was doing at that moment. Were they planning on having a token before Sushi launched a token? I don't know. I remember Hayden was a little bit upset with that Sushi fork and the fact that they kind of just stole his idea. But it seems to be a friendly competition at this point. Obviously, it's business, so you're going to have a winner and a loser, or at least relatively have a winner and a loser. I really like this little small battle between automated market makers. I love what they're doing. They obviously were timing this up correctly with when Uniswap would drop their rewards. I do have kind of breaking news here. And before I get to what Cooper sent out the last thing I'll put out is I think Uniswap does have that first mover advantage with the branding. I think that they had a lot of got a lot of goodwill from that little stim package that everybody got at the end of the summer there.
Yep.
So there's a ton of goodwill. I think people love the brand of what Uniswap is. So I think I agree with you. I don't see a mass exodus from Uni just because this is happening. But I do want to get to this tweet from Cooper. He's saying, and this just broke an hour ago probably. Cooper said he basically announced a proposal, right? Calling all Uniswap protocol politicians, the time is now. Monet Supply and I put forth a plan to continue liquidity rewards with reduced incentives. This would change the monthly allocation from 10 million uni to 5 mil split across the same pool. So it looks like there's some influencers here that are trying to get the ball moving on restarting those distribution for liquidity providers. What do you make of this from Cooper?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's kind of like thinking in a way, okay, do you have a cliff, right, where you just stop the rewards and that's it, and then see what happens, right? Or do you have like kind of like a slow, gradual move towards reduction of rewards and then kind of slowly, put that out on the market, which makes sense, right? Is like, if you want to do it gradually, there'll be a way kind of to do it slowly to see what the market reaction is, because if there is a shock of something that I personally don't see happening where the liquidity actually like leaves, right? But if there is a risk of that, then having a cliff drop off for the rewards, that Uni is going to stop, that can potentially be like, an issue basically. But he's, I guess, proposing instead of stopping it altogether, just have that as, kind of a gradual slowdown.
It's interesting because we had Cooper on a long time ago, and he was basically talking about the rise of protocol politicians. And basically, you can get proposals up on this governance and on this interface here because you have the backing of the community being a protocol politician. So it's really seeing it come to life right in front of us. It's Kieran saying 10 to 5 sounds like Uni rewards got Thanos'd.
Nice.
Bruno's saying the same thing that you're kind of touching on here. I would prefer to stop with liquidity rewards altogether because it creates selling pressure on the token. So I think what Dimitri was getting at there, I'm not going to step in front of you. You got it. I saw. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, Bruno, yeah, absolutely. Like, the whole reason kind of behind this, these rewards that were introduced is to get initial liquidity, right? Once you have sufficient liquidity, there's, you don't need to stimulate and incentivize liquidity providers that heavily, right? They're still making money off the transactions, right? That is the goal to get there. But in order for the platform to run efficiently, they have to have sufficient liquidity. Therefore, the incentivization phase is there in the beginning. But everybody knows that, it's not going to be there forever, right? It's going to phase out, and liquidity is going to remain there, and the platform is going to function as intended to make money off the fees. Uni rewards are not going to be there forever. And just like any other exchange as well, even though they're becoming a little bit more creative, like for example, Sushi Swap is doing stuff with DAI now, and all that. Yeah, they can do a lot of creative things, but that means that they're still in that phase of incentivizing liquidity, and they have to incentivize liquidity in order to kind of continue to build it out to compete, right? Where meanwhile in Uniswap, first of all, they didn't incentivize liquidity in the beginning. They spent a lot of time and building out the infrastructure to attract the liquidity that they had. Then Sushi Swap kind of helped them out also in building out the liquidity. And then after the token incentivization, they added even more liquidity. And now that everything is there, there's no reason for additional stimulus for them.
Yeah, that's true. So I look at Axie and I look at a couple others that created a community first and then launched a token, as opposed to launching the token at the same exact time. I don't mean to throw Layer 1 in this mix, but when you have the ability to create a community around shared values or around shared interests or anything like that, and then later on you do the token, it has way more of an effect than trying to use the token as like a defibrillator for something that's not even alive yet. I think I think you touched on that really clearly there. The last thing we'll touch on here with Sushi before I get to some of these comments, which there were some comments that I want to throw towards you. So this is Simp 1. They're calling it Simp, Sushi Improvement Modification Proposal. Vesting and boosting for rewards in the new Sushi Bar, which is just their kind of plethora of pools. Rewards and DAI plus a claim function. Remove the EOA requirement to leverage keepers. 7 days before going from Sushi to X Sushi. The mitigation of flash loans. So that's kind of the update here. We're getting close. We just hit 59. We need one more for 60. We hit 60. Give the dance. Another one. we'll get with Buff, guys. We hit 60. We appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Obviously, you're going to get hit with those rewards. I'm going to let Dimitri touch on a couple of these questions, and then I will get the first link to you guys. But stay tuned all the way at the end of the episode for the second link. Appreciate it. Another all-time high on Layer 1, man. Another all-time high.
Beautiful. And looks like Adriana is in the house. What's going on? Glad to have you on board as we're hitting all-time high. Always a pleasure. Looks like, let me see. Kieran is saying the crypto network Richard Hart is claiming to have made Uniswap popular. Kieran is continuing to troll. Love it.
Richard Hart's the type of guy where I don't even want to speak his name into existence. He doesn't exist for me.
I feel like there's like algorithms on YouTube that probably search each content that mentions his name and automatically flags them. There should be a thing like that.
So Adriana says 61. That was me. Whoop. It looks like we got a lot of GGs. We got Loadmaster saying mission complete. So he's going to turn off all his browsers now. We got a couple comments that I wanted to get to. Guys, we're touching on Uni and Sushi Swap and kind of the updates there, the competition between the two. This is a good one. I'm going to get to it. We had a couple people talking about using Uniswap, and they don't think Uniswap is going to go anywhere anytime soon. That kind of mirrors our thoughts there. But Bullseye had a good question, Dimitri. I think it's relatively probably easy to answer, but I want to know what you think. What do you take from the rumors regarding other AMMs planning airdrops like Uni, Kyber, Mooniswap, Balancer? What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think we've seen kind of the effects of that airdrop that happened, right? Rewarding the loyal users in the past, and it's interesting because my theory, being the bear, is that that token would completely get destroyed, like nonstop dump, just to zero level. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to basically cash out your Uni in time for it to even have value when you drop it. But that was not the case, and it was a fantastic social experiment where you've seen people that actually raced to dump this token, right? And they were stuck because of network fees and congestion that happened. And we saw the price actually starting to even creep up with the selling pressure that was available there. Then people that got out see the price actually continue to go up, and they're like, wait a minute. So they go back and buy this token again. So there's some people that were re-engaging, and even after they sold Uni, to buy it again at a higher price. So there's a lot of things that are happening. And I think in general, the community really appreciated them doing this drop, because you also have to realize that there are many different kind of users spread across the world, right? That maybe in some regions that, that amount of Uni that was dropped, that can be enough to live half a year on it, right?
Even more.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was a fantastic experiment, and the outcome of it was definitely great. And I think a lot of these players that you mentioned is, they're taking note of that, right? They're taking note and looking how that went and how that built the loyalty of the community, and possibly introduce that to to those users as well. Rumors, they're rumors, right? So now it's if there's a rumor like that, then nobody's gonna go to Balancer or these other platforms to make, if they haven't used it before, and start using it just to make sure, let's say, hey, if they're gonna take a snapshot, then I'm a user, I was a user as well,
Mm-hmm.
So that, I don't know who started the rumor or where the source is from, but it's also, you have to keep in mind, they can game it too, right? They can start a rumor to prop up their users that want to be part of the snapshot, but then that turns out to be not true. I would really want to see, others replicate similar stuff that Uni did. And I think, it's definitely feasible.
I think we're moving more towards the spectrum of most projects launching some type of token. Hopefully, like we said, it's retroactive. I really, although you do have the element of the token being used as a marketing tool, right? Like you have the ability to say where maybe your product, it has the ability to be a catalyst, right? But the idea is the people that you're bringing in when you're just launching a token, those aren't the quality individuals that you're looking for. You're looking for people to use your product without a token and then retroactively doing that for them.
Exactly. Yeah, that is absolutely a great point. Yeah, where we've seen in the past things are done differently, where you start, speculating and adding these speculators that are there just for the game, and then once the game ends, the platform realizes that there was 80% of speculators, and now they're like gone, and it's like the users they have is like 20% that are stuck with you, and it's like. Yeah, it's for sure. I think it definitely offers a different way of incentivizing loyalty and all that good stuff for the users that've been performing, right? So that's a good point.
I'm seeing a lot of guys that say they can't redeem 100 lads, but I do see some people coming through and actually redeeming them. So it's kind of throwing me off real quick. I have about 6 people that have earned them. Bullseye's gotten in. A couple of the other guys. Paul's in, so there's a ton of people that have gotten in. Let me know. Yeah.
I think we're breaking roles servers.
Yeah.
And we're flooding role servers. With everybody's kind of clicking at the same time. Maybe they just have some kind of a timeout thing, right? Set up. So keep on trying. It should work.
Yeah, it looks. For those of you that have already received, claim not.
Let me see.
You're gonna try to claim. Guys, try to log out and then log back in and see if that works. So we haven't had that issue.
Try a different browser, maybe.
Yeah. Try a different browser. Do what you got to do. We haven't had that issue before, so hopefully, sir, is it an old? No. We just created it, Kieran.
No, mine worked. Yeah.
So, yeah, just log out, log back in. Let us know what's going on there. Obviously, Roll also on our call today. They're building some pretty interesting things behind the scenes. They got a couple dev guys in there. So it should be
Alpha Leak. Yeah. Yeah, there's some good stuff coming on Roll. Those guys are killing it. They actually did secure funding, like we mentioned in the past. So they're putting gas on more development and more tools that will essentially make things so much more easier. For these social tokens to operate and so on. So some exciting stuff coming through. I
think I can share my dashboard here and show you what I'm seeing from my end. So we have 50 that are available here. 6 have earned it. 44 are available. And we do see some guys coming through and claiming it. So the link is live for some people, but not for others. We'll continue to stick on that. Yeah.
Continue to kind of try that. But we'll see what happens. Keep us updated, guys.
Okay, yeah, keep us updated throughout the episode. We have 2 rewards links to get to you guys for hitting that all-time high. We just hit 60 again. I'm going to move this conversation over to EOS. Thank you guys for the conversation, though, from Uniswap and SUSHI. I think it's a really cool thing because what you're seeing is 2 highly effective products. Which a lot of the times in crypto, you're thinking about like almost kind of in the ether. You're just like thinking about things that aren't really a product or anything like that. Whereas you see SUSHI and UNI, they're very high level products in the crypto industry. All right, I've got EOS here. The only piece of news that I have for EOS this week is going to be from Blankos. So Blankos is launching tomorrow. We're doing an event, a special event, a lads kind of raid, if you will, where we're going to all get together as lads and we're going to stream the whole event. We're going to have all the lads in together. We're going to try to see what we can do for this Blankos launch. Now, we don't have a time. So there is no time right now on when the actual launch is occurring. But if you did get one of those founders packs with Blankos, you will have the ability here to kind of come in. You see Coin Artists talking about it there. There's a kickoff party on Tuesday. Let's see. So there's not, again, it says 2 more days. So there's not really a hard time here, but we will be doing this event tomorrow. So keep an eye out in our Discord for what's going on. Obviously, you have to have one of these founder packs here that I can kind of go through. We had an event here for Oh no, I don't think we did have a sale event. But anyways, Blankos is going to be huge. I appreciate them launching. Over time, it takes a while to make a good game. I think that we kind of get caught up on that in crypto a little bit. We want things to move quick, but in order to make a AAA level game, you have got to take your time. And eventually, what you want to see is these assets being live on the EOS main chain. Obviously, they're not doing that up front. A lot of the stuff that they'll probably do is not related to the EOS mainnet right off the bat. But I'd love to get somebody else who has any information on what's going on with Blankos, whether you're in their Discord. Let us know what's going on with that project, because what we see from the outside is amazing stuff, but we do want to see that link back into the EOS main chain. That would be a huge win for EOS in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff from EOS. Let's hop into some DeFi stuff, shall we?
Boom.
Cool. All right. So the first piece of news.
Real quick, we actually have the Blankos team tomorrow too. On that stream, we're actually bringing in the Blankos guys, the CEO, and some of the team members to talk with the NFT Live guys. So Buff and Ronan. Sorry, Ronan just pinged me about that. Go ahead. DeFi
Awesome. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, it looks like some of the lads are able to claim, so that's good to see. Looks like there's some solutions that they're providing, kind of fix the issue. If we break roll servers, that's a good PR for us. We'll definitely come back to roll and be like, listen, man, you can't handle our community. We're just too good, Adriana is coming in with $2. What's going on? Yes, do a little dance.
You have to do that every time. We're gonna call it something.
No, man, I'm just gonna. That's it. That was the last time.
Thank you, guys. It looks like Crypto Mike came in early and donated. Adriana is always here donating to us. So we appreciate that so much. Thank you a lot, Adriana. We are growing rapidly here, and it's awesome to see support from you guys in that form.
Absolutely. All right, let's hop into some of this DeFi stuff. So the first one is going to be kind of sad. It's actually called the saddest hack in crypto, and because it involves basically the value DeFi protocol, and it's one of those stories again, which is it's funny because you had a tweet from value DeFi protocol saying, the multi-stables vault, they talked about how safe it is and how it's not exploitable. It can be attacked by flash loans, and the funds are super safe and blah, 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 all that good stuff. Well, shortly after, they put out a tweet and saying that there was a complex attack that resulted in a net loss of 6 million that drained their basically pool, and it involved flash loans. And it's like big, facepalm, which you just talked about how you were mutable to these attacks, and now you ended up getting attacked. And for those guys that might not be aware, value DeFi protocol is kind of like that lending borrowing setup where you earn APY and you're providing liquidity, and you can do swaps on it. So, for example, like right now, it looks like their ETH USDC APY is 41%, so it's like, you understand that's a pretty high percentage there. So there's some risks involved with that. So obviously they got attacked by this flash loan, which it seems like always involves curve finance in some type of way. They ended up, borrowing the tokens, then they basically brought the price down, and then they rebought that token and paid back the loan, which made profit and drained the whole pool. A big amount of the pool. And just so you guys know, let's see, that's crazy to look at their liquidity that's available in total. You can see the crazy drop off that happened. Just from October 17th, they were at 136 million.
Are you looking at DeFi Pulse there? Where are you looking at that?
I'm looking at it straight on their website.
Okay.
Valueliquidity.info. And you can see just the drain that happened from 136 million to all the way to 10 million. I'm gonna put that in a dashboard if you want to show that to peeps right here. So it's crazy. We still see this stuff, and you have to be careful when you're broadcasting to your community, to your people. Listen, this thing is indestructible. Funds are safe and can't be drained. We're immutable to flash loans. Like, we got all the bases covered. That's it.
Oh
Like,
God.
what?
I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. So, and it's like, you can't really predict that. And you should always say that there is a risk of these things happening, and everybody should be very careful. So, and the way this thing was done was nothing really that sophisticated. It was quite simple. Some of the other exploits were more sophisticated. And, again, I have to come back to this thing, which, like, a lot of people will say, oh, the flash loans are so bad. There's just like evil. Somebody can exploit the system, by using flash loans. And for those that are not aware, flash loans, they basically give you the ability to borrow funds and not have any collateral, meaning that I can borrow, let's say, $100,000 worth of ETH with zero collateral. And the reason why it works that way is because it's a flash loan. It's like a 30-second loan that you use that has to be repaid in 30 seconds. So some people, ideally that system is designed to, like, do arbitrage, right? You see inefficiencies in the market, boom, you smash it, and then you have the arbitrage get away, and the whole market becomes more efficient. But there's obviously others that take advantage of some exploits and punish certain contract logic that is available, and it's really it's seen kind of like an evil thing, but it's really comes down to trading, right? It's, again, I repeat myself, where it is an opportunity, it's an alpha to earn money using that product, doing this stuff, right? It is a trader that made that decision to make that trade and do it. We have to understand that when you're trading, somebody loses money, somebody wins, right? Either way, right? If you're trading in the market, there is a buyer, there's a seller, there's somebody who's losing money, there's somebody who wins money, right? This guy just did it in a big bulk, right? So people tend to be hostile towards those individuals, but in trading, this is just the way the game is ran, right? So
yeah, there's a couple. The conspiracy theorist in me thinks that some of this, as it happens more and more, and Bruno had a comment that we'll touch on this here in a second, but there's not an ability to see if this is an internal kind of fluff thing by the team. Whereas you can have an internal hack and be able to send funds back. We've seen like hackers attempt to kind of exploit the protocol that the team is involved with, and they know the code and all this stuff. So if that happened to be somebody on the team or someone connected to the team, how would you know the difference? And you could always do that.
Who
thing.
is the team?
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I'm getting at. The more that this happens, the more that I believe that it's an internal kind of rug, where you have this situation where, oh, we got hacked, but they return the funds. They always return the funds. For some reason, that they always return a little bit of the funds. It's just the more it happens, the more I think that it might have, or at least some of these might be internal for the team. The same way we think about NFTs, where some of this wash trading happens with NFTs. You buy it for 100 ETH, even though that's just a simple. The only money you're losing when you transfer one wallet to the next is the fees that you're paying on that 100 ETH. But you can then say, oh, look, somebody bought this for 100 ETH. It's like, man, there's no way. There's no way. So there's a ton of different things. Bruno said about DeFi, I believe that there's someone trying to show the fragility of the protocols. Not really just for profit. Check the talk in the transaction with the value of the hacker replied to the nurse. So I think what's happening here with that comment is he thinks like there's a single individual or a couple individuals that are constantly doing this in multiple protocols.
Yeah, rinse and repeat, which is interesting, because you would think that a platform that claims that they have all those holes patched up and they're immutable to flash loan attacks and exploits probably would have those things patched up, right? Like, otherwise they'll make that statement, But these guys seem like they used a pretty unsophisticated way to game it, which is like, we're still not there. But you bring up good points. You don't at the end of the day, like, you don't know with these other exploits that do happen, if it was a team somebody inside the team who did it, because first of all, the team is anonymous, so we don't really know who they are, and we don't really know who the hacker is,
Mm-hmm.
and then they end up giving some money back, or it's like, what, so it's like it's a lot of like funky stuff going on. So the point is that when we do choose to interact with some of these protocols, with some of these systems, right, we have to really trust them, right, that everything is set up in that way. And usually in the market condition that we're in right now, which is euphoria, a lot of people end up jumping in on opportunities as quickly as possible because they feel like they're going to miss out and the rates are going to drop. They're going to miss out on the gains because usually like the first person kind of makes the most. The idea is there, but like they end up skimping on due diligence and kind of, picking the spot and doing the research and kind of assessing the risk, right?
I hate
They jump
talking
in
about this shit.
Yeah, they jump in first and then they're like, oh, wait a minute, what did I just buy? What did I get into? And then they get mad, because this happens. Well, it's like, that's the reason why you see like Uniswap and Sushi, they're performing really well and they have so much liquidity locked up, very stable and so on, right? And these other ones that are coming up, right, and they're having these issues and so on, right? So you have to understand, if you are going to get involved in this, then there is a risk of what I talk about, which is counterparty risk, right? The counterparty risk in those new platforms is quite high compared to existing platforms that have been in the market for some time already and have the reputation and have so much money that's trusted in them.
Yeah, and when people are putting multiple thousands of dollars in these things, they have to be ready for the consequences. That is something that I remember in 2018 when the DApp craze started and EOS had all those DApps where you were like making money. It was essentially DeFi before DeFi. Man, some of the money that I put into those platforms, and it's a centralized platform. You're just sending the EOS and hoping that you don't have custody of those assets whatsoever. So it is interesting to look back and say, damn, I was a little bit risky with that. But that's what the risk you take for the yield that you're getting.
Exactly. I talked to you about it, right? I was like asking you, what kind of yield are you getting? And you told me the yield, and I was like, dude, like get out, like like grab it and just dip out, because a lot of times people would get hung up in this greed, and they end up just staying there until the whole thing kind of unwinds. Anyway, we got stuck here a little bit.
We did, and we're gonna have to fly through the rest. There's a ton of people talking Blankos. Sahil's in the chat, so it's good to see Sahil. The last thing I'll touch on with this, Dima, I love Decrypt's writing because they often like. They just have an interesting way of writing. One part from this article, they have the sad face emoji, and then it says the Telegram group before Decrypt was banned was a mixture of distress and anxiety.
Yeah. They even show like some of the communication there.
do you, Decrypt? We appreciate you so much. All right,
that's
it for me.
That's great. Anyway, let's fly through the rest of that stuff. So the rest of DeFi here looks like yearn.finance. Good old yearn.finance. Looks like it's pairing up with Hegic, which will offer different abilities for people to kind of hedge out some of the volatility that they experience from putting up basically liquidity, right? So it's and getting rates, right? So for example, if you're putting up, let's say, USDC and ETH, right, you're exposed to volatility of the ETH price, right? That is the one end that you're exposed in, right? So you can be earning rewards, right, and percentages on top of that, but you're still exposed to the ETH volatility. Well, this project, proposition that they have here would help give options to people to isolate some of that volatility of that, leg of ETH that fluctuates in price, and at the same time, give you a pretty good rate of return. So basically, they're introducing options as a tool for them to kind of continue to deliver good yields to the people that participate in yearn.finance, and at the same time, isolating that volatility can occur if the downside, potential for if you're holding ETH and drops, then you're losing out on it. So they're introducing derivatives, which is options contracts that will be utilized on top of the system that they already have, that will give an option basically to the holder to exercise it or not, which will make things more smoother and again isolate that downside risk when you provide in liquidity or staking, because that's really a big thing there. They try to isolate it as much as possible. Sophisticated people want to be market neutral in terms of like price fluctuations and earn good APY, and that's something that they're moving forward in that sector. So that's pretty good. The next one, really quick here, looks like Synthetix, my man Kane.
Take a shot.
I'm gonna take a shot. Yeah. Released Brent crude oil futures now tradable on Synthetix. So you can trade the good old Brent on Synthetix. And I was looking actually at oil the other day, and it's not looking too good. Let me see where Brent is. $43. Yeah, not bad, but it offers the ability for people to speculate, on a decentralized platform. So again, it's all these things that, like, right now, in order to trade Brent, you actually have to, register and get set up your brokerage accounts with these firms and all that stuff. Well, here in decentralized land, you don't have to do that. So you can give. You can get exposure from this synthetic product to the oil contracts anywhere you are, which is beautiful. You can do this. You can hedge, let's say, if you need to on your oil prices without setting up accounts with some of the centralized exchanges that we have in traditional finance.
Bruno's asking, what about regulation? Is it like a CFD?
That's a very good question. When it comes to it is kind of, it's like a CFD, right? It's a derivative, but it's decentralized, right? So it falls into the same basket as the other CFDs that they have, right? So everything else that they have that's a derivative is synthetic, right? It's all contract of difference. It's interesting that they're releasing this. We'll obviously see what kind of the reaction will be from regulators, but I'm pretty sure if they're not going to push like too much volume there, it shouldn't be a problem. But at the end of the day, yeah, it will fall under CFD as far as the regulations go. But then it's like, the question is, how are you going to regulate that if it's decentralized, right? That it really comes down to that. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Bruno. That is a CFD.
All right, let's hit the last bit of staking. We got some comments to get to. We see a lot of Blankos comments coming through. We'll touch on that when we get to NFTs, guys. But we do have this last bit of staking news. This is pretty big. These staking pools are starting to become more prevalent.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously with ETH 2.0, staking has started, so you can stake ETH 2.0 and for ETH 2.0, and you basically lock it in your ETH. They're talking about it has to be a fixed amount of 32 ETH required for staking. So it's they're talking about the issues about whales getting in and isolating some of the people that don't have that much ETH to participate in it. Then there's also an issue in terms of liquidity, right? So when you're putting up this ETH into staking, you're locking it in. You cannot use it anywhere else. You can't withdraw it. You can't do anything with it until they release the next phase, when it starts enables you to move it around and so on. Well, this platform right here, it's StaFi, staking liquidity solutions for Ethereum 2.0. They will give the ability to people to actually use their ETH that's staking and is locked there. What they do is basically they mint our ETH, and that our ETH can be used in participating in like DeFi stuff that we see in the market right now. So this way it's not just sitting there locked. So you can use it outside of that locked pool for ETH 2.0. The one thing to keep in mind, though, if you are going to do this, once you mint that R ETH, the redemption in terms of R ETH back to ETH is going to be locked. So you wouldn't be able to redeem R ETH back into ETH because they need to wait until the next phase for ETH comes out that enables that function, right? The redemption, right? Because we cannot move ETH around, right? So that's something important to keep in mind. But, the more we have the liquidity that is not kind of stuck there, useless, right? Because, it's kind of just stuck there and being unproductive, with the ability for a solution where you wrap it and then you can utilize it elsewhere to provide liquidity or earn APY or do all these fun things. That is something that we definitely want to keep in the market, and I'll help the whole like flywheel continue to move rather than taking it out of circulation, locking it, and being like useless for X amount of time until they introduce the next phases.
I feel like that's something we haven't really touched on. That move to ETH 2.0 and the launch of staking is going to have that ETH be locked up, as opposed to trying to get into different DeFi platforms. I guess the yield has to be good enough so that they're not chasing it elsewhere. But that
No.
definitely is taking something that's not happening in proof of work and actually using the staked ETH to lock up ETH and take it out of circulation. I feel like we don't touch on that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's a very good point, because it's like when you think about it, if stake then just sits there and it's like not really doing anything. I guess you could say it earns the staking rewards, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can then be utilized to move around, but the proportion of the staking rewards that you're getting that ends up moving around and the proportion that you need to keep there locked, you know, it's a lot of unproductive capital that gets stuck basically, that could be utilized elsewhere. And we're seeing the market kind of grow in that. We're seeing like a lot of things like you can use that as a collateral to secure a loan that you can use, those funds for something else, and so on. So a lot of interesting stuff, and excited to see that continue to roll out. All of these things that help people utilize their ETH that gets locked in. First of all, brings more people to kind of lock this ETH in because they need to, right, to get to a certain point. Also, this actually opens up for people to participate that don't have 32 ETH.
That's the one thing.
Yep. So that's great. That opens up people that don't have that much, right, to participate in it. So all these things are going to be a lot, better for the market, because it's going to help, more people to stake in ETH, as we need to have that, and have that being used outside of, that locking that's happening right now.
Yeah, I've got something put up on the screen here. It's basically a deposit contract bot that's on Twitter. You can follow it at deposit at deposit ETH. Basically, it's tracking what we need to actually get Ethereum 2.0 launched. How many ETH we needed in the deposit contract, and it started obviously at a lower amount and it continues to go up, but it's still not a lot. And maybe we see the proliferation of these staking pools that allows people with less than 32 ETH to participate, and then those staking pools will start staking. I don't know if some of those are already begun staking, but 18.2 is not a lot out of what they need. That's literally less than a fifth of what you need to get this ball rolling. It is going up day by day, so we'll see. But it is interesting to see that if they don't hit that 100% mark, good luck.
It's canceled.
See you in 2022.
It's 2.0 canceled. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's interesting on that Twitter that looks like that bot joined on November this year. So I guess it's tracking since November.
Well, that's when the staking went live.
Okay, so yeah, so 20% in 16 days.
Fair, but it's out there. But like, you think on the first day you're getting half. Anyways, that's a good conversation. You're right. And maybe we get there, maybe we don't. We'll see. A lot of it was flooded in by those big whales in the beginning. So we'll see if anybody on the back end kind of has the weight to kind of throw around. So anyways, guys, that is DeFi. That was a good section there. Dima, good job on that. I've got social tokens. As far as our social token, lads, if you guys are having issues claiming, it's likely just going to be a roll issue. There's nothing we can do. I can pull this up again and show you what I'm looking at from my end. It looks like 27 people have claimed, 28 now have claimed, 22 is still available. I'm going to drop this next link within the next 10 minutes likely for the all-time highs, but it's not something that we can do from our end. That's just a roll situation. Maybe we are crashing their servers a little bit with the amount of people joining at one time. So just keep trying to claim, log in, log out, use a different browser, but there's nothing we're going to be able to do from our end. So we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, let us know. I think it seems like I'm reading chat. There's a lot of people that were able to claim and resolve the issue. So maybe it's just a quick influx of people just doing it at the same time that made this happen. But yeah, if somebody's still having a problem, definitely let us know in chat. We can always follow up and investigate this issue, because if we're going to have millions and millions of people try to claim this in the future, we want to make sure that everybody can claim it at the same time. Looks like Slava is in the house, asking BTC 50K in the next year. I certainly hope so.
Sir, please.
I got big plans for that, you know.
Do you want a retracement so that you can fill your bags enough time?
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I mean, at 1.50K would be nice. I'm not saying we should, just zoom through that, from where we are now. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Okay, so I'm in social tokens, guys. This is the portion of the episode where we cover the growing, the growing industry that is social tokens. Obviously, Roll's doing a good job. I'll touch on Zora here in a second, who's launched a couple social tokens, including Rack. I know it's new, so if you do have questions about social tokens, this is the time to ask them. And we're going to start with RNG. So RNG was an interesting case. It was pretty much a situation where a guy launched a community out of nothing. And basically, hold on real quick.
Wow.
Nothing. We're good. Let's see. I'm gonna text something. Anyways, we have RNG. And he launched his community and the RNG token, I believe, a month ago. And he used this reflections on community, and the link is in the description. So the link is right there for you. And if you're interested in Lats, if you're interested in what we're doing, if you've been in our community for a little while, this is a necessity to read. This is homework. This could have been written about Lads and his community. Now, there was a situation where, and we can get abstract with this, that his community launched, like we were talking about, with the token at the same time. It didn't have. I believe it's still not trading, but it was launched almost in some type of like hype zone, and there really was a fervor around RNG. And basically what happened was he kind of goes through the life cycle of what the RNG community was, what he learned from launching his community token. So there's interesting things to be learned from that article. I might be able to pull some bold points here, but there were definitely some good points. He says, I find myself asking one thing over and over again. Is it really possible to build a long-term community modeled on the ownership economy without crushing the entire effort before it begins under the weight of a money game? And I think that's something we always are indirectly talking about on Layer 1.
Yeah, I agree. I got taken away by chat, and it's like, it's funny. Slava says, is there a social token that is dedicated to prayer? We should decentralize prayer. Let me see. Looks like somebody's bashing on Loadmaster here. He's saying he's a cheat, and NFT Army is a bogus. So
wow.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what's the deal with Rajiv there, but that's interesting. That does bring up a point that we probably should just mention that Loadmaster is launching the army token as well. With his community stuff there.
Yeah. So basically, before we there you go, money sign pray. I did kind of want to discuss this, and it's a discussion we have all the time. But the question basically that Richard kind of came to after creating this social token. Is it possible to build a long-term community modeled on the ownership economy without crushing the entire effort before it even begins under the weight of the money game? I think we touched on this with Uniswap and SUSHI, but I think the fact that he's kind of coming to it and asking himself, it looks like Rajiv got a court martial. All right, we are totally getting lost in the sauce here. Anyways, check out that article. He wrote a great dissertation and just like a huge article on community tokens and social tokens. I loved what I read. If you're interested in social tokens as well, it's a must read. So you guys need to do that. Otherwise, we'll continue to follow RNG. It did start very quickly, and you can't really form communities that quickly. That's my opinion, right? My opinion is that if you start a community that quickly centered around a token itself, it is not going to work because what you'll start doing is attracting the wrong people, attracting speculators, like you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about it many times, but it's tough, right? So it's like there's two sides of it, right? So there's the way that like the uni stuff where it's like you build a community, you do this functionality, do all these things, and then you reward them for being loyal. And then there's the other side of it, right, where you just start off with the token, try to incentivize to bring people in. And I think it has to do with the fact that like a lot of people, what they focus on is on hype cycles, right? So if you have a hype cycle that lasts for like 3 months, well, if you just realize it's a hype cycle and it's going to take you like 6 months to build the community and then do the token while after the hype cycle is done, then it's going to be very hard for you to even perform that way, right? So they're seeing that, hey, listen, there's a risk. We have to hit the market running now, and therefore we're going to deploy this. And after, yes, we will have a lot of speculators, but at the same time, we'll attract some people that will stay, and there will be a percentage, of those that kind of work out and those that don't. So it's kind of, I think it's important to kind of, there's two sides. It's not saying that, hey, this is the wrong way of doing it and this is the right way of doing it, like black and white. But I feel like there's benefits and cons on both sides, and you have to philosophically kind of make a decision yourself which way you believe will be the right way to do it. And I think, different people do it, kind of in their own style, right? The way they see things.
I agree. All right, I'm going to ask the NFT Army to take it somewhere else. There's a little bit of a comment battle going on between Rajiv, it looks like here, and some of the rest of the NFT Army guys.
We can just time out Rajiv for a little bit.
Yeah, we can time out. We're going to have to time out some of you guys. So obviously, this is not the forum for your arguments. So please take that somewhere else. Otherwise, we will move on to the next piece of news. SeedClub Bounties. It looks like SeedClub obviously is like it is what it is. Its name kind of gives it away. Basically, they're a incubator for different social tokens. They ran a hackathon, and basically through, I think they had a couple different social token awards. They had USDC rewards, but basically they were figuring out ways that they could use the hackathon to create social token tools. There were some requests for, like, I guess a Twitter. Oh, it looks like Coin Artist had an NFT smart contract, NFT farming smart contract. It looks like we had an Alex token bounty for Twitter engagement incentives. So SeedClub ran this hackathon for social token tools, and basically those are the rewards. Again, everything we're talking about is in the description below. You guys can take a look at what the rewards were, but it looks like there are some nice tools coming for the social token communities there. So it looks like we had our first ban ever.
No, it's just time him out for a little bit. Let the Rajiv kind of gather his thoughts. Guys, we don't want to censor anybody, right? Anything kind of goes. You guys can talk about things, but we want to keep this kind of productive here, because it seems like you can't spam the same thing over and over. And if you have beef with somebody, take it outside, like talk it out and figure it out. We're trying to have a productive conversation about the news that we have. So, we want to focus on that, and that's kind of taking our focus off in a unproductive way. So let's get back into it.
Yeah, rest in pieces, as P-Knuckles saying. Also, Dimitri, if you want to come in and call Dimitri a cheat, it's a whole nother thing, okay? You can do that. This is layer one, so you can
call my beard a cheat.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Exactly. You guys got beef in your community. You got to take it there, man. Don't bring that. Don't bring those bad vibes over here. All right, so we've got Zora. So Zora is another, and I can pull up their website here for a second. They are basically how would I even call this? Kind of like a social token marketplace. They're looking to get in the game of creating different social tokens like Rack. I'll show you right here. Obviously, Rack was their most recent, but basically they're working specifically with some influencers and creators to launch social tokens in the same way that Roll is. And what we have here is a different marketplace, obviously, where you can buy different artwork. You can buy different, I guess, digiphysical goods that can be redeemable only if you hold that token. Rack did this with his cassette tape. So they're launching a whole marketplace there, as well as like I would call it a creator marketplace. That's where we'll leave it. But it looks like they're launching a complete network. They kind of have this marketing piece here. We have Zora kind of talking to their community. This was on November 15th, so I believe yesterday. And they're basically saying, look, we have been doing this marketplace for a little while, and we see way more potential than what we're doing now. I think, let me see if I can find the exact sentence that you want to be paying attention to. Let's see. The Zora experience you currently know will still exist, but it will become secondary to a fundamentally new one that we're launching with the protocol. Be ready for the change. It will be open source. It will be public. It will be built with you. We realize that it was crazy to say, but we feel like this has the potential to be the basis of a new internet. So that's pretty strong words from Zora there, that creator marketplace, but it looks like they're launching a network. It looks like a layer 1 network that we'll see here shortly.
Interesting. That's it's always super interesting to talk about NFTs and kind of like, have physical good that's attached to it as well. And it's funny how like the Zora is like, I don't know, when you start covering it, the first thing that came to my mind is Zara, like, the clothing company. I was like, wait a minute there. So it's right now, so you can actually like, get some physical like clothes and stuff, like physical goods that attached to NFT.
Yeah, you can. Basically, what you do, well, it's attached to the social token, right? So basically, if you have their social token, you have access to buy these different NFTs that also represent some physical goods. So rack, for example, if you had enough rack, you could actually purchase a cassette tape that only like played like exclusive music, and then you got that in a physical form too.
Layer 1 swag.
Yeah, Layer 1 swag is a good example. Layer 1 would look good on Zora. So. So creator marketplace, it looks like they're launching a network. I expect the token to follow suit. So you might see a Zora token here in the near future. All right, let's get on to the next piece of news. It looks like we're moving into NFTs. So we have this bit of NFT news. I'm going to move the old column over here. Let's see if we can't get it done today, fellas. It's the last one that we're going through. Appreciate you guys sticking with us till the end. I know we had some drama there in a second. Like I said, if it's layer 1 drama, I'm all down for it. We want to have positive vibes here, but come on, here we go. All right, so NFTs. I dropped this. I could have been the alpha of the week here. I dropped this on Saturday that Axie was going to drop a certain announcement, and they were going to drop it on Monday. It looks like that announcement came through. Can you check the price for Axie here and see? Let's see what everybody thought about that. I know it took a little bit of a dip. So basically they're partnering with Chainlink. You can see here Axie is going to use their oracles for two things. They're going to have the Chainlink verifiable randomness function, the VRF, to induce like random elements when you're like breeding Axies or when you're burning Axies, the ability to have random drops and things like that, truly random, which is something Chainlink's been working on. The only other thing they're working on as well with this integration is a price reference data feed. So you have this Chainlink ETHUSD that is going to be used so that you can see in real time the right kind of exchange rate for ETHUSD. So big news from Axie. I mean, I could touch on many more things with Axie. Blockcrafter says Chainlink has every partner imaginable. That's
I mean, they're great. Chainlink kind of carved out their own market, segment there, and everybody's using them. They're doing, really well. So it's like I don't blame them. And the fact that they're working with Axie Infinity, that's great. Speaking of the price, it's at 62 cents right now. The high was about 64 cents yesterday. And I talked about it on the desk. I think you brought it up for me to take a look at. And, we've looked at it. Obviously, with these tokens that come out, they're relatively new onto the market. You have to understand that they're going to go through price discovery. This one's going through price discovery into the upside. And I kind of gave an idea of how you could get involved in it in terms of like trading. You could look at specific strategies that I have for those type of tokens, which I can mention again on Dimitri's desk at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Little plug there.
Little plug. And we also launched the interview. So we actually interviewed Jiho on the 5th. So when I believe AXS was about 13 cents, we launched the interview the next week around 30 cents. So if you were paying attention to Layer 1 and you saw that interview with Jiho, congratulations. Again, not investment advice. Nothing we do here is investment advice, but we like to have the hottest project on. AXS is killing it. Looks like they are kind of rebounding from that little dip to like 53 cents, something like that.
It was all the lads pumping it.
Yeah. Yeah, the AXS, I can't speak enough about them. We'll see. I asked Jiho himself when staking would be live, and it looks like staking is going to be live in Q1. So they're working with Delphi Digital to kind of get their token economics. I Yeah, they're in that phase where I don't want to meme them. You know what I'm saying? Like meme for a week straight. He was like, "Well, it's going to 1 billion." You know, like
Yeah.
we're going to 1 billion. We've seen that kind of pullback, so I don't want to get any unnecessary hype to AXS, but Axie's definitely doing all the right things, and Jiho's awesome. So shout out to those guys. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the price, the way it's performing, it's healthy. It's not just like a straight up, right? It's gradual, right? There's some selling, buying pressure. That's exactly what you want to see in an efficient token release. None of that crazy volatility, which is like, down like 100% or, down like 90%, then up like 1,000% and so on, right? This is a pretty gradual price discovery that's happening, which is fantastic.
Exactly. We've got a ton of comments coming through. Loadmaster saying one to watch for sure, and the pool just opened. Crypto Brandon is saying, damn, nice alpha there. Q Easy is saying, I totally lagged on getting access. Tom is saying, stupid world burning distracted me from making good investments. Yeah, all of us, man. All of us. All right, so that I can't, again, speak enough on Axis. Let me touch on, actually, I could touch on the after this story, I'll touch on what we're doing with Blankos tomorrow, but it looks like KuCoin. This kind of fell under the radar a little bit, but KuCoin is entering the NFT market with plans on launching an NFT exchange. So it looks like, based on this announcement here, they're going to be launching the withdrawal services on the 20th, but it looks like assets can be deposited on the 16th today. So it looks like they're moving more towards, offering I would love to see what this looks like from the interface perspective, but it looks like they're offering support for, deposits and withdrawals. We'll see where this goes. Obviously I don't even have access to KuCoin from like a trading perspective. So it's going to be tough for guys who, want a KYC there and all that stuff. But yeah, it's good to see a large exchange getting behind this. It's the first of its kind from what I've seen. It looks like from Johnny Liu, CEO of KuCoin Global, KuCoin is paying close attention to the NFT market. Although NFTs don't have enough market attention at present, the potential is great. Moreover, it has many application scenarios in insurance, bonds, options, and other fields. It can even create a virtual real world on the blockchain. So we launched the NFT trading board to facilitate user participation in investing in NFTs. We've talked about Niftex. They've got some funding from some bigger players in the NFT industry. They're looking to do fractionalized NFTs, where you could trade essentially 1/1000th of a single NFT. I like that idea. I think it's really cool for price action. We'll see what KuCoin launches here. But I thought it was a cool story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's great. You're talking about probably top 10 biggest exchange in crypto. Just looking at today, they've traded 80 million in 24 hours. So it's it's an OG exchange. They've been around for a while, and I think it's good for KuCoin because they're trying to capture that market before anybody else, and they're looking to be kind of first in that sector to experiment. Because overall KuCoin, even though it is one of the OG big exchanges, the competition has been kind of outrunning them, and KuCoin has been kind of lagging, and they've trying to find their competitive edge, and they've been struggling with it. So maybe that could be it.
I love that. Speaking of another platform that's going to make waves, I like a lot, and I've only been kind of privy to them over the past couple weeks, but I love Ronan's in the house. What's up, Ronan? Ronan's calling Blankos. Maybe before we touch on Mintable, we'll touch on what we're doing with Blankos tomorrow. And Ronan also can fill us in the comment section. But basically, we're going to be a part of that launch party event. We're going to stream the whole thing. We're going to have lads in there. Maybe Loadmaster will get in there with some drops, and Layer 1 can do some drops as well. We're going to make a day of it. We don't have a time yet. So
I hope it's not doing the desk.
Yeah, I hope it's not either. The desk has 2 people tomorrow.
Yeah. Me and my dog.
Exactly. Shep just looked up, so I think he's going to be watching Dimitri's desk as well. So you have 2 dogs. But we're ready for that tomorrow. That is the special event of sorts for the week. Hopefully we can get a time, but be paying attention to the Discord if you guys want to take part in that. Oh, it looks like we may have some special guests as well. All right, Mintable is going to be a big player, I think, in this space. They are doing a lot of cool things. Think of them as a competitor to OpenSea, although I hate using the term competitor because I think we're small enough now where everybody's growing the pie together. But it looks like they're launching their version 2, 2.0. A lot of cool different features that you would like to see in OpenSea are launching on Mintable. I'll get to some of those in a second. You can message between buy and sellers. That's huge. You cannot do that on OpenSea right now. You can actually promote your listing. So you can, I believe, promote your listing via like a monetary way, where you can kind of show that and highlight that on the front page if you spend a certain amount. You can see your history, obviously. You can give reviews. So there's a ton of things that are coming out on Mintable. I would expect, actually, that this is, I would not expect it. This is more of a kind of guess, but I would say Mintable comes out with a token. I think they're doing a lot of innovative things that it makes sense for them to be one of the first to launch this token. I would look at Mintable. Let me go to their website and see what else they're doing, because I know there was one more thing, but go ahead.
First decentralized marketplace token.
Gotta love it.
But yeah, no, that really sounds exciting. When you were telling me about this, the fact that you can promote listings and all that fun stuff, that's really cool. I think I saw Top Shot just recently released finally a way for you to see the purchases that were done in the past.
Ooh.
So that's pretty cool. So now there's a bar, you can see all the cards that have been sold basically previously, and you can have the market history there. So that's pretty cool.
Love that. Yeah, that was one of the first things we were looking at when we were looking at Top Shot. Okay, the only other thing that Mintable was doing, I don't know how I completely, messed this up, but me and Ronan were talking about this on NFT Live. I think I brought this up last week, but Mintable is also the one doing the NFT based DAO system, where instead of having the token be part of the governance process, you actually have an NFT that's upgradable, that's part of the DAO. So yeah, based on those two events, Mintable is one to keep a lookout for sure. All right, so the last piece before we come off here, let me see. I think I lost it.
NFT Market Size.
I'm gonna pull that up, but I lost the link.
Oh no,
we're losing it, guys. All right, I got it. NFT Market Size. So these were two tweets that came from, both came from Non-Fungibles, but one was a retweet. So I'll get to that one second. But Non-Fungible put out some more data. Non-Fungible is literally the leading data source when it comes to NFTs. So it looks like you can see a market size evolution here. This is total volume USD traded over the past year. So you see January 1st, 2019, and you can see the absolutely huge increase in the market size. You can see kind of the different players. Obviously, Axie's taking up a little bit of that. Interesting spike in January 2020. I don't know what that spike is, but you can see Super Rare is a big player. Decentraland has stayed relatively flat. Axie's obviously increased over the past month. CryptoKitties, I would say it is what it was back in 2019. Sandbox is coming along. So definitely an interesting chart here from the Non-Fungibles team. Did you have any takeaways from this?
Yeah, it's super interesting to see kind of like the NFT market in a visual form, right? To see how it continues to grow, which is interesting. Like I always I see like NFTs growing, and I always kind of bring this up overall in just the market of collectors that is growing in general, right? You have even like going back to regular physical collectibles like Pokemons are blowing up like crazy. There's streams now that people open packs. And I don't know how I ended up on this stream. Don't ask me, but whatever. I was like, let me see. This guy's opening packs. Like, what is the cool thing? This guy opens the packs and he finds this card, and it's like, oh my God, this card is like, like 18 G's. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, so, what? And it's like, it's insane. So a lot of this stuff happening where collectibles are definitely making a round, coming around again on the market. Mm-hmm. And, NFTs is basically this more modern way of doing it, like an amazing extension of it. So it's good, obviously seeing the NFT market continue to grow.
Awesome. Well, we have this last piece, and this is the absolute last piece from the episode. Non-Fungibles retweeted this, but it comes from Crypto Defer. It's just another look at the NFT marketplace. This is a weekly marketplace, and it looks at in depth kind of what the volume is and what the transactions are from the NFT marketplace. So I can kind of look to this, but it looks like the weekly numbers, 19,000 NFTs, weekly volume in USD is 1.8 mil. Obviously, this isn't taking into account a lot of what's happening on Wax either, so keep that in mind. This looks like Ethereum focused, but you can see Axie's taking a majority there, 7-day volume, 500K, so rare, super rare. Looks like Somnium Space is coming in front on the virtual real estate front, and then you have kind of the remainder there. So interesting stuff, man. You see a lot of what's going on in the NFT space. Looks like CryptoKitties still has a large amount of transactions that's happening on its platform, but Axie's taking the cake.
Yeah, and we had that interview with Bad Crypto that was fantastic, and we specifically talked about how many people are actually involved in NFTs now compared to people getting involved in other sectors of crypto, right? And these are some beginning numbers, right? These are just like just the start of it. The growth potential of that sector is significant, and we see that being recognized from exchanges like KuCoin that want to capitalize on that opportunity and capture some of that market, because it's so new, and it's not that many people in it, and it has a potential to really blow up. And those volume numbers, man, we're gonna look back on this and be like, what? Like, remember that one time when the whole week the NFTs were traded, it was half a million? Like, bro, we trade 80 million now, like a day in 24 hours or something like that, or like real estate metaverses and all that stuff, rent, like so many crazy ideas there. That would be interesting to see how that's gonna work out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find some tweets. Andrew Steinwald's obviously like one of my favorite follows in NFTs, but he laid out exactly what you were talking about very, very quickly. Not quickly, but more so, more clear in the sense of why that's happening with NFTs. I think we see what's happening, but the actual underlying reason why, Andrew believes it's because NFTs are the most social asset class. And I can kind of go into another tweet that I saw, but that kind of this meme where he's like sitting there drinking the coffee changed my mind. It looks like Andrew has it as NFTs are the most social asset class, and that gets to kind of the heart of what his thoughts are. Let me see. Yeah, right here. This is it. The most powerful aspect of the NFTs is that they are inherently social. Humans are ultra social creatures. The reason we can use computers, fly airplanes, and go to the moon is because we work together. He goes on to talk about a lot of other things, but I like that point. I like that point a lot. And
we had him on our interview, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's a fantastic interview as well.
Yep. Andrew was a great interviewer as well, or interviewee, but definitely some good thoughts there. I think NFTs, the reason why they're interesting, although it still has its detractors, is because they're inherently social. You can do things with them, right? And that's what might lead to all of this talk coming to fruition about, hey, maybe this blows off the top, and maybe it can be a adoption layer for crypto.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting to know that a lot of these NFT collectors, they actually they get the NFT and they look at it and they're like, oh my god, I got this super rare thing, and it's like it costs like $15,000 or whatever. But you know what? I'm just going to actually sleeve it or leave it and just sit on it, because I don't want to I want to show it off and be like, hey, listen, man, check it out, bro. In my stash, I got all these rare items, and it's like, I don't want to sell it, right? So a lot of them actually don't dump it onto the market. They want to sit on it, for a while. It's like a bragging right. And it's like OG stuff. Which is a different mentality when it comes to, from the DeFi trading side of things, right? Where people are just like, oh my God, I got into this great price. Now that's it. I'll dump it, and then I get my profit and that's it. Right here, people have a little different atmosphere.
It's interesting because we do a lot of talking. This is kind of being transparent to you guys, but we do a lot of talking behind the scenes about LADS token. And that was one of the debates internally. It was what distribution looks like with social tokens, but it goes along with NFTs too. I think just the user base is different. There's a lot of technicals and features that you could take from DeFi and implement them into NFTs, but I think the psychologically it's a little bit different. Inherently DeFi people are speculators, whereas sometimes NFT creators, social token, investors or what have you, they're much more of the investor mindset, of the community mindset. I think DeFi is obviously an extension of the financial industry, and you see NFTs and social tokens, they're an extension of completely different subsets of culture.
Absolutely. And we definitely need both, right? It's not like,
Hmm.
those are bad, those
Yep.
are good, right? They all serve their own kind of purpose in the market. So, I love talking about it. And yeah,
Yeah.
we always talk about different scenarios and all these things that are happening. And sometimes I get too carried away on one side, and Q is very good at, kind of telling me, hey, listen, this is kind of a different environment and think about this, look at that. And then it starts, making sense in my brain. Like, yeah, sometimes I get too carried away into that DeFi sector stuff where
Hmm.
it's like, I'm like, boom, 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 trading only, all that
But
stuff.
you need that.
Right. So that's why we find balance. And that's why, that's
That's
why we
what.
can be friends,
That's why. That's what. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, no, guys, we
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to. But that'll benefit lads in the long term. You guys will see.
Yep.
Can't wait to get. Speaking of that, cannot wait to get to everything we have this week with the lads. I guess I'll touch on it one more time. Please like and subscribe on the video as well. We've come to the end of the episode, so it does help if you guys like. If it's your first time here, we do a ton of different content series throughout the week. We've got a content series tomorrow. What's going on tomorrow?
Did you? Yeah, we do have some
Ooh.
tomorrow. Sir, please.
So,
I don't want angry lads messaging me tomorrow and today as well. Make sure you claim your lads. Yeah, see, lads are already
all right, I
looks
gotcha.
like, yeah,
Rabid, man.
getting lit in chat here. So yeah, make sure you claim your lads for that bonus. But yeah, tomorrow 5 p.m. Eastern, Dimitri's desk, and you know what? I might do a survey in Discord since we do have a lot more new people now to see if we need to switch up the schedule for Dimitri's desk, because sometimes people don't and they can't participate, or it's like really late. I want to find the most optimal kind of time for all you guys to make sure all of you can participate easily. But tomorrow 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll have that, and you'll be getting double lads rewards because last time we didn't distribute on the last stream, so I'll be hooking you guys up. So
Awesome. All right, I just dropped that last link. I know we had some problems with that first link, so let me know as it comes through. We did, again, it's nothing from, we didn't input it incorrectly or anything like that. It's just the front end there. We've got too much people trying to claim. It looks like one person's already come through, so we'll check on
was it me?
No, it was not you.
I'm not
I
claiming these.
blacklisted your account, Demo.
Oh
So you
no.
actually can't get any lads into that wallet. Otherwise, we'll stay live here for a little bit longer so that you guys can claim those lads. But we'll stay live for like another minute or two. Please claim. Yeah, he said time to log out again for roll. So guys, claim those lads because after we kind of step off here, you're not going to be able to see that link until after we already kind of disable it. So Slava's saying, God bless. We appreciate you guys in the chat.
Yeah, good luck with the prayer coin, or I think he was talking about that idea.
I'll buy in.
Yeah.
So wait, so if you're a different type of religion, you pray more. Do you get more prayer tokens, or is
that is interesting.
It's game theory. It's game theory.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see that white paper real quick to see the details there.
True. All right, so we got guys rolling in for the tokens. I see. Claim your lads now. If you don't,
maybe we can do something where you write in chat if you claim lads. Maybe do like a plus or sign or something.
If you couldn't do that, how about that? Because we're gonna have more people be able to claim. The only other thing, guys, it looks like Scott's been listening to us on his way back to LA, so we appreciate you, Scott. Always killing it, always bringing the best for lads. Let's see. JLo saying on 900, he needs 100 more for that bot. Loadmaster, note to self, no court martial during live shows. Love this, guys. Hey, we appreciate you guys so much, man. We would love to hear from you guys on how we think or how you think we can make Layer 1 better. We got a lot of liquidity mining stuff coming through. Officially, that token.
Yeah, keep in mind, I'll be sliding into your DMs on Discord today. So keep an eye on that. I know you guys have been expecting that, but it's finally coming, together, and I'll be blasting you guys, to make sure you guys are clear on what's coming here in terms of the campaign and things that we have planned.
Awesome. We haven't had issues with the link before, guys, but just know that Roll is also doing a lot of things on their back end. That they're doing a ton of stuff. We talked with Sid today, had a great talk with him. So,
we will have him also on Layer 1 right? I believe we'll have Roll that we'll interview.
Yes, we'll have Roll. You probably on the day that around you'll see the token live. We don't want to give too many. I don't know, when is it going live? Who knows? It's not up to us apparently, but we'll see. Anyways, a lot of cool stuff coming through. I'm gonna leave it open for another 30 seconds, guys, but we're pretty much done. So make sure you at least have the link so that you can go back. If tomorrow or maybe tonight, if you can't claim, I might be able to send you some lads. But I'm going to double check. If you try to send me like you didn't claim and I can see on there that you really claimed,
you're gonna be banned.
You're gonna get the Rajiv status. But I saw he came through and apologized a little bit.
Yeah, Rajiv is coming back. It's fine. Yeah, we'll put you into the lads gulag. So after looks like Eric saying Layer1 Monday, another success. Yeah, man, absolutely. What I was gonna mention, after we finish this live session, how much of a window do we leave for the people to claim, or is it instant in terms of?
So here's the issue, guys. If I leave it open, you won't be able to see the chat for like at least 12 hours, 14 hours. So you won't be able to see the comment again. Even after that, the people that are trying to click on that link won't be guys that showed up for live. So we usually just disable it after the live session. So, guys, we had 400 playbacks on this episode. Amazing. That's
amazing. Yeah.
Eric wants a link to the gulag.
Yeah.
Dimitri's in there often.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that? We're stalling here. We're
kind of wrapping up as you guys are claiming the lads. So there's another thing that we're kind of pushing around as an idea. I set up my stream on Twitch. So for those lads that, let's say, are playing games and like Warzone, Call of Duty, I'll be streaming that time to time throughout the week. We can probably play with the lads that do have the game. There's no problem. We can get them on the team, start playing the game together, and I'll be streaming this on Twitch. And then also Warzone has the ability to create a private server. So we can have, if we have enough lads in a Warzone, we can actually battle between each other. So we can have, I think the minimum is 25 players. So if we get 25 players in the Warzone, we can all drop in on the same server, play against each other, and I can stream that on Twitch. So I've set that up. I'll be posting updates in Discord.
Awesome. All right, we'll keep that link. Storm, you can the lads Warzone team. Bullseye got it. All right, so Storm, just keep the link. Continue to try to do that, and you should be able to claim. I'll leave the claim link open for a long time. Richard Hardy said, what time do servers go live on Blankos? We do not know. So obviously get into the Discord. We have the main chat. We have the NFT town where the NFT specific discussion goes, but we'll probably put that in main chat as well. And we can, obviously go through this and figure out whenever Blankos says we're going to go live, we'll know. So, all right, guys, that's about it. 400 playbacks, amazing. Hit all-time highs again. Feels good. You guys are making it happen, man. This would not be nearly as fun without everyone here. So you guys are absolutely killing it. Thank you so much. And Dimitri, you want to send us off?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.